Hello everybody, I'm the Raging Snail, and this is the Scarlight Squad deck profile with the Metaphys archetype. Before we get into this video, I just want to say if you prefer to look at the deck list description, I can provide that in the video in the description box below. So yeah, check that out. And without further ado, let's get started on this profile. 3 Ragnarok to start us off. If you bring it out, you can banish 3 cards from the top of your deck, and it gains attack based on a Metaphys card. So if you banish 3, it goes up to 2400 attack, which is absolutely fantastic. And then if you inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can bring out a high-level Metaphys from your deck. Usually the one you want to grab is Daedalus, because when it's brought out by a Metaphys monster, you can banish all other face-up special summon monsters on the field, which is also absolutely fantastic. It pretty much is your out to any problem monster your opponent has, as well as clearing boards. With the higher level Metaphys monsters such as Daedalus and the other ones you'll see in just a moment, if they are banished during the standby phase of the next turn, they get special effects. Daedalus puts itself back in the deck, and instead you banish a Metaphys card in its place, monster, spell, or trap. An option that you can go for is nephthys. If it's special summoned through a Metaphys monster, you can banish all set back row, including yours. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. It really depends on how you play this deck. Its effect is that during the standby phase of the next turn after it's banished, you can put it back in the deck and search any Metaphys card, monster, spell, or trap. Pretty good. Tyrant Dragon has the effect where if it's brought out through a Metaphys monster, it is unaffected by traps, and it can attack opponent's monster twice in a row, which is great considering it's a 2900 beat stick. And during the next standby phase, if it's banished, you can put it back in the deck and then bring out a Metaphys monster from your hand, which is one of really good effects. And I say that because it can do that to itself. Daedalus and nephthys have restrictions where you can't search or banish themselves, but Tyrant doesn't have that restriction, so that's pretty good. The little Metaphys we play now is Decoy Dragon. Some people play him at 2. I like him at 3. His pendulum and monster effect are pretty much similar, where if an opponent's monster targets you for an attack, so whether it's in the monster zone or a spell zone, as long as you have a monster on the field and they just want to attack you, you can banish this guy, and then you can bring out a Metaphys monster that is banished and swap its place. So kind of like the regular Decoy Dragon. This will trigger some of your other Metaphys cards, and during the standby phase of the next turn, he'll return in the monster zone, which is absolutely fantastic. For the non-Metaphys monsters, we play 3 Doggos. Doggo has a great ability where if it's normal summon, you can banish 1 monster from your hand, then banish 1 monster from your deck with the same type. So as you notice, all the Metaphys monsters are worm types. So if you have a Metaphys monster in your hand, summon Doggo, banish it, and then you can banish any other Metaphys monster. Pretty good. Its other ability is that if it's destroyed by your opponent, you can target any banished monster, and add it to your hand. So that's pretty good. A good target you could use besides the Metaphys monster is the 2 Necroface we play. If it's normal summon, you can put all the cards back into your deck, and then it gains attack. And if it is banished, each player banishes the top 5 cards of the deck. Sometimes you'll hit them both, which kind of sucks because you won't really have a way to recycle cards, which is very important in this deck. But otherwise, you both banish 10, and your opponent may cry. Lupine's a good target for this too, because if you banish Necroface, you can go with Spiritmaster as another target, especially if you go second with this deck and your opponent has a face-up monster. And I say that because when you do banish Spiritmaster, you get a free pop with that ability. And it's just a zombie, so it works well with Necroface. This and the last monster I played, DD Patrol Plane, are kind of like fun techs I'm just playing around with. Patrol Plane has effect where if it is banished and was banished that same turn, you can banish any card from your hand, field, or grave and bring it out. So really good if you have Metaphys monsters in the grave or other cards you just want banished. And it's just another monster that can show up on the board. That does it for monsters. As for spells, 3 Asymmetaphys. This card may be a little bit hard to see. Might be able to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. It's a really good card, and it has a soft once per turn, so if you play multiple at once, it's not a problem. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Metaphys card from your hand, and if you do, draw 1 card. And then, if a Metaphys card in your possession is banished, you get these bonus effects. If it's your turn, non-Metaphys monsters lose 500 attack and defense, and on your opponent's turn, the battle positions of all monsters except Metaphys monsters get changed. Comes in really good handy when it lowers the attack. I like that more than the battle position. But yeah, it's just a really good free draw card. Kind of the main draw card in this deck. 2 Crossbreed. Crossbreed is kind of like the Doggo, where you can banish 2 monsters for the price of 1. And when you do banish those 2 monsters from the hand or face up from your field, if I add, with the same original type and attribute, you can search with different names. You can add 1 monster with that same type and attribute with another different name from your deck to your hand. So this is really good if you have 2 high-level Metaphys monsters in your hand and you want to search that Ragnarok. You banish them, search Ragnarok, and you go off. 1 gold sarc just to banish any card. Usually you want to banish Necroface with this, get your combos going. 1 dimensional fisher just to make sure monsters get banished. Really good at making your opponent cry. 2 trade-in. Because you can put Metaphys monsters in your grave, which is okay. You don't really want to, but this gives you just more draw power, and you can always banish cards to get them out of the grave instead. And 2 Twin Twister just to round off the spells. Just good at getting rid of problematic cards, and you have some cards you want to discard, and if they're discarded, well, you can find other ways to find their use in the grave. That does it for spells. 4 traps now. Not many traps. We have 3 Ascension. Ascension's kind of like the best card in this deck. This is MVP right here. You can discard a Metaphys card, draw a card, and then you can banish 1 Metaphys monster from your deck. So it's another draw card. It kind of gets rid of 2 Metaphys cards, which is okay. But its best effect is that if it is banished, you can search any Metaphys card from deck to hand. So, broke. You can't search itself. You can only do one of those effects every turn. But if you can get this card off with the continuous spell or Ragnarok, you can search anything. So this card is awesome. Next we play 2 Dimension, another card you can search because it has Metaphys in its name. And it's continuous trap. It's okay if you don't use it. And if you do use it, it's good. You can play it at 1. It's really good later on if you can get it set up. Otherwise, searching for it can take time. But essentially, when your opponent special a monster, you can bring out a banished Metaphys. And its better effect is that if a Metaphys card in your position is banished while it's already face up, you can banish a card your opponent has. That does target. This combo is really good with Decoy Dragon. So if you can get Decoy Dragon on the field and this up, you're pretty much set. And you just will start bringing out monsters and then just start banishing cards, which is awesome. 2 Dwimmered Glimmer. This is kind of another tech card. You banish a face-up monster you control or in your grave, and then it just comes out as a monster. It's really nice for becoming the same level as stuff. You can do plays with it, and it just gets cards out of the grave that you don't want there. As for the extra deck, kind of optional. Kind of depends on what you play. Horus is just a fun little target because if you use Ragnarok and Decoy Dragon, you get both effects of Horus. Because Decoy Dragon is an effect monster, you can negate a card with Horus. That's permanent. And since it's a pendulum monster, your opponent has to choose 1 monster they control, and you get control of it. So Horus is pretty nice to play. 1 Scarlight, because, you gotta play Scarlight, and you can make it in this deck with all your tunas, so might as well. Omega's alright. I don't really see myself making it. Being able to recycle your banished cards and banishing cards your opponent has in hand is pretty good. That does it for the synchros. 1 Hippo Shinigami, just to boost your light monster's attack. If it does die, you can bring back any light monster from your grave to hand. So that's pretty good. 1 Cerberus to get rid of monsters. Don't want to deal with the pesky monsters. You can use Cerberus, ditch a card, and pop it. Discarding is not too bad. Same thing with Phoenix. You discard to pop a spell or trap. 1 Borload for when you really want to go into your plays and just, really make your opponent cry. As for the Xyzes, 1 Hope Harbinger. You don't really make it all that much, but it comes in handy really late game. It's just an Xyz target, really. As for the other Xyzes, 1 Castel to spin stuff. 1 Dweller. Dweller's alright right now, in my opinion. Maybe good with Orcus, just shutting them down, so it's not a bad card to play. Heartland Draco is always a favorite of mine. As long as you have a face-up spell, it can poke directly. Really good for going into time. And 1 Cowboy, just to, cowboy for game. Anyway, guys, that's the deck. Thank you so much for watching. I am the Ring Snail. Please stay tuned for another video in the future. Bye-bye.